Disney has this golden touch, so to speak, where everything that they take over just turns to pure gold. Everything is better. It's multiplied more billions of times into something that is way better. Now, obviously, there's a bit of sarcasm there because Disney has kind of been on a downward spiral lately. This is easily seen in Star Wars and Marvel, but Marvel is a bit less fair of a way to say that because Disney has actually owned Marvel since August 31st, 2009. So that's actually going to be 13 years coming up here soon. So anything that's been made in those 13 years was made with Disney. So that's not really a fair comparison. A fair comparison, though, is Star Wars. Star Wars has been taken from something that I once really enjoyed watching. I enjoyed the first six movies, my personal favorite being Revenge of the Sith. I kind of grew up with that being, the movie. But then we have the next three movies and a few shows made by Disney. And to say the least, they're not good. We've had a few glimmers of hope, like Rogue One and The Mandalorian, but overall, there is a lot more trash shows and trash movies. I mean, The Force Awakens was somewhat acceptable. It wasn't a good movie, but compared to what was coming next, it looks like a top tier movie when you look at what we were brutally unprepared for. And that brings us to The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi was a movie that was probably something that the directors were like, hey, this is a good idea. Everyone's gonna love it. All of the people who cause controversy on Twitter were like, yeah, this is gonna be a good movie. And everyone with a sensible mind was just shaking their heads, hoping that this foreseeable train wreck was just their imagination playing tricks on them. Most people could see that this movie was not going to be good, and most expectations were hit with reality that the movie was not good. Now, I think, in my opinion, it was the worst Star Wars movie. It was worse than The Rise of Skywalker because it started a train wreck of disaster. And as an honorable mention, we'll throw in Solo. I would actually say that to describe Han Solo's story, it wasn't great. But as far as Star Wars movies go made by Disney, it was not great. Like, I wanted to see more from certain characters and less of certain characters. I think that it wasn't as bad as people make it out to be. I enjoyed it a little bit. It was pretty good. I think it was definitely worse than Rogue One, but it was definitely better than The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. But now, if we look at The Rise of Skywalker, the one to end off this downward spiral of doo doo bag, it just took what it learned from The Force Awakens, Solo, and The Last Jedi and kind of molded it into one. It made some improvements off of The Last Jedi, but it also made some worse decisions than The Last Jedi, including Palpatine returning. I mean, Palpatine was just, puppeteering Snoke, which I thought could have been a cool character, but nope. Why were they hiding all the ships in the beginning when they could have just taken over the galaxy? Why is there a specific amount of time for them to take off? Why can't they, just have been ready at all times and just, left? How come the ships have nearly no laser guns? In the first movies, in the prequels and original trilogy, the ships obviously have a bunch of military guns in case of air-to-air combat. But Palpatine, the guy who literally almost destroyed the galaxy, isn't smart enough for that. I think that this movie made The Last Jedi worse because it just cut off any glimmer of hope from that movie. The Last Jedi had its fair share of awful times, but they were just multiplied into a gazillion when The Rise of Skywalker was made. I mean, they destroyed Han Solo and Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia in these movies. I mean, they just decided, you know what? They're all gonna die before it's over because we gotta make room for the new generation. The new generation called Palpa Skywalker. Because apparently, just changing your name makes sense, don't want to be known as a Palpatine, so I'll be known as a Skywalker. But also to go into that Disney downward spiral of Star Wars, we have TV shows. We have the TV show called The Book of Boba Fett, the TV show called Obi-Wan, and The Resistance. These three TV shows are ones that definitely didn't do great, including The Resistance. The Resistance was made a bit before these, but this was a sign that Disney definitely wasn't in the right mindset. We have two popular TV shows made by Disney, The Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan. These two shows definitely didn't do as good as I thought they would. I mean, I was super excited for Obi-Wan. I was somewhat excited for The Book of Boba Fett, but when I heard that my favorite Jedi was going to get their own show, fresh off of The Mandalorian, I was super excited because, I mean, the show we got, The Mandalorian, was awesome. We were also fresh off of Star Wars Clone Wars, the final season, and I was actually looking forward to these two shows, but neither of them really lived up to the expectations that most fans had. I mean, don't get me wrong, both shows definitely had their good moments, but both shows definitely had their not so good moments, including the awesome scene in the opening of Obi-Wan. I think Obi-Wan I liked a bit better than the Book of Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett didn't have as much going on. The Book of Boba Fett was pretty much the third season to The Mandalorian. It was an extension of it. It was supposed to be its counterpartner, just like Anakin was Obi-Wan's. It was supposed to be something like that, but it didn't live up to, I think, what it should have. But when we look at the opposite side of the spectrum, Marvel, one that has been owned by Disney for almost its entire existence, we can see that Disney was able to make good movies up until around the same time as they took over Star Wars and started changing it up. As soon as they started changing up Star Wars, they started changing up Marvel. And there is a very distinct line in where Disney started to go wrong, and that is Phase 4. Phase 4 was kicked off with Black Widow, a movie that should have been released before Endgame, but wasn't. It was a movie that I think was good, it just had bad timing. And then it was followed by Shang-Chi Legend of the Ten Rings, non-known really Marvel character. I think the movie had good moments. It was definitely better than a lot of the movies in the rest of Phase 4. Then we had the blockbuster movie Eternals. What a great movie it was. Eternals was one of the most disappointing things to ever come into the cinemas. It was unfocused mess. And then Disney started to pick it up with a movie that they didn't make. They did really good in Spider-Man No Way Home, which was, I think, kind of 50% Sony, 50% Disney, which shows that the movies that Disney is not having a part in are actually doing good. This movie was the only one to get $1 billion in box office out of any of the Phase 4. Of course, Thor: Love and Thunder and Black Panther: Wakanda Forever still have a chance to do that. Then we had Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, another movie that I did not enjoy. It was kind of received 50-50, I believe. Some people liked it, some people didn't. Same with Thor Love and Thunder. I actually haven't seen this one yet, but I've heard good and bad things on it. I know a few things that happened in the movie. I know some good and bad parts. From the clips that I've seen of the movie and heard from the movie, I'm not sure if I'll like it. I'll have to go see it in theaters, but if it isn't good, then it's just another movie to add to the list. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, the one that's gonna end Phase 4. The trailer's been out. I have a video on it, and I'm not too impressed with the trailer. Has potential. It doesn't look great, but we'll see. And then Phase 5 and 6, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Ant-Man movies are forgettable, but a good way to pass time with friends, I think, but it's not great. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the second movie in Phase 5, I think has to be good. I mean, it doesn't have to, but I want it to be. Could be good. I really enjoyed the first two Guardians of the Galaxies, but I'm not sure with the way Marvel's going if it's going to be good. The Marvels don't even want to talk about that. It's not going to be good. It's impossible for it to be good. Captain Marvel was not a good movie. Miss Marvel was not a good show, and having them in the same show will not be good. There, I said that. Blade, if it's not gonna be I doubt it's gonna be good. Captain America New World Order, we're gonna have a Captain America movie without Captain America, kind of like how we're gonna have a Black Panther movie without Black Panther. We're just going to have nothing that is really going to catch my eye. The Thunderbolts, don't even know what that's gonna be about. Don't really care. Fantastic Four, it could possibly be good to start off Phase 6. If it's like the last three, then it's not going to be good. If it's different than the last three, it's still not going to be good. But if they do something good with it, it might be good. Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, the first Avengers movie that we will have in around 7 years. Believe it or not, almost 7 years it will take between Avengers movies, which is way too long of a break. And then we'll have Avengers Secret Wars to end off Phase 6. Obviously, some of these movies could be scrapped and there could be new movies added. We don't know everything about Phase 6, but they definitely wanted to start off Phase 6 with, superheroes that they know, which is a good idea. They also wanted to end it with an Avengers movie, which I think is a good idea, but just the continuous downward spiral of what Disney has been doing, it is crazy because once superhero movies were the top of the world, once Star Wars science fiction movies were at the top of the world, and now it's pretty much all plummeted. It has been a train wreck for Disney and a train wreck for any of the fans of Star Wars and Marvel and other things that Disney has put out, including the real life remakes of originals like The Lion King and Mulan. But those I'll probably address in a different video. Yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching. Bye.